Babok. There are 6 business analysis knowledge areas. Today on Certification Insights, let's talk about one of the business analysis knowledge areas called elicitation and why it is important in business analysis. My name is Bamidele Vivian Asagi. I'll be back after this break.
For over 15 years, Certification Edge has been in the business of training professionals to pass the PMP, CBAP, ACP, and HR certifications from HRCI and SHRM.
Yes, our results speak. With over 90% pass rate, we are unmatchable.
With our globally certified coaches,
Excellent after-class support system,
Over 1,000 practice tests.
and our magical FIV you will never find anywhere else.
Choose Certification Edge for all your global certification needs and let us celebrate your wins in grand style.
Remember, to be the best, you've got to train with the best.
Contact us for all your global certification needs today.
Welcome back to Certification Insights. My name is Bamidele Vivian Asagi. So like I said just before the break, today on the show, we will be looking at one of business analysis knowledge areas called elicitation. And who better than my guest for today, Ajibola Bamidele, to shed more insights into elicitation techniques as he joins me on the show. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me here today.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, better than you, better than most.
Wow, I take it as well. I'm doing better than you too, okay, even if you haven't asked me. So
Okay.
let's get into the business for today.
Excellent.
Elicitation techniques, what is it?
Okay, so looking at it from the perspective of what you said in the beginning, that it's a knowledge area. So it's an activity we do. So we're performing business analysis, and what's business analysis? I define it in layman's terms, being able to identify problems, opportunities, and preferring solutions. As simple as that. So now, if you want to perform that task, you cannot just do it. You need to elicit, you need to gather requirements, you need to because the solution is not for you, it's to solve people's problem. There are stakeholders affected by this problem. So what you want to do is to get that thing from them. So I call elicitation an activity required to extract what you need from the stakeholders. Now, the reason why I use the word extracting is because stakeholders might not even know what they need. So imagine you just say, so you go to the hospital and you say, I want to see the doctor. I have a headache. The doctor will have to elicit and say, are you feeling pain on your chest? How has it been happening? 4 days ago, when you walked, did you feel a pain here? So he's asking you relevant questions that will make him draw out information that will be able to use to recommend a drug to you. And that's elicitation itself. So there are diverse techniques that we use in eliciting, and there are enormous, a lot of them, that we use. That's basically what elicitation is.
I was going to ask you the next question, that's why do we need
To elicit?
elicitation techniques?
Because we'll become a magician as a business analyst. You want to turn a BA to a spiritualist. Just imagine you go to a doctor and just came in and just said, I know what's wrong with you. Don't talk. We are going to take this drug. You run away. Because it's becoming a spiritualist. It's using powers. So we need to draw out. And without that, we cannot say we're meeting any needs or we're solving any problems if we don't elicit. In fact, that's the only thing a BA has to draw out information from stakeholders, to elicit.
Okay, so definitely we need it in business analysis.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you the next question now. This is more or less like, how do business analysts elicit? Okay,
so there are processes to this, because the first thing I want to say is that a BA should be able to prepare. You should know why you want to elicit. What problem are you trying to solve? So we call it understand your objective. So with that, then you also need to know who are the stakeholders surrounding the opportunity or problem I'm trying to resolve, so that you can ask the right people. Because if you're eliciting from the wrong person, you still get the wrong information. So you must have right objective and understand when to elicit, and also have an agenda for elicitation. So if I want to have a meeting with you next week, I need to schedule so that you can add it to your task and you can be available. Because if I invite you and you're not there, then it's a wasteful effort. So I need to make sure all resources I need, the meeting room, everything is in place, the agenda, so So immediately you come in, it means that we can go straight to the business of the day. And when I'm there, I need to reiterate again and say, why we're here is because of this, and this is what we're going to be doing. And beforehand, I need to also think about the kind of tools and techniques that I can use that can assist me to bring out the right information from you.
Okay, so can we use a particular elicitation technique for projects, or are there various types of techniques?
Okay, it depends on the problem we want to solve. And so many conditions. Now, if your stakeholder is far from you, maybe he's in another country, another time zone, you might want to use maybe surveys, questionnaires and all. If you have everybody in a room, you might want to brainstorm. Okay. Or you might want to use focus group. You might want to use facilitated workshop. You might even want to use collaborative games. Like we have games like, okay, so some people, they don't say things until you play the scenario and it looks like a game. So let's say, for example, there's something we call the speedboat. Okay. The speedboat is like, I'll just draw a boat and say, you know what, let's look at this boat and think, is this company or is it department? Now, let's put anchors and say, okay, look at these anchors are holding this boat down. You guys, if you're meant to label this anchor and write things down that's affecting this organization, that is holding us down, what will you put? Start labeling it. Who will start putting it? So it's a game. Who will start putting it there and all? So we have a lot, spider web, product box, different things. So everything depends on the speed, what you need immediately, and which one will be effective for that kind of stakeholder. So we cannot say that one size fits one. It depends on the situation that determines whether I want to interview you, I want to give you a questionnaire, I want to let us do brainstorming, or I want to use a game. But it depends on what situation we're trying to resolve, or the kind of information I'm trying to extract, or the availability of stakeholder that determines which one will be the best for that particular activity. Okay,
well, rounding things up in a little bit, but okay. I would really love to know, as a business analyst, okay, which is best to use? Like, use one particular elicitation technique, or use a combination of...
I just mentioned it now.
Of different... So it's best to just...
I said, as it depends on the problem, or depends on what you're trying to resolve. But you need to know about all these techniques so that you can make, it depends on what you want to do per time, that determines what you use. It's just like you're asking me that, what kind of agricultural tool is best to use on the farm? Okay, it depends on what you want to cut.
Okay.
The way you use a tractor will be different. The way you use a cutlass will be different. The way you use your hand will be different. But you must be able to use all these tools and techniques so that in case when you face that activity, you decide which one will best work for the problems you are trying to resolve.
Okay. Well, there are some scenarios whereby you could have one problem and you need different types
to get
to
it
solve
out.
it, and then they have the ones you just use one type of technique to solve.
You don't use this elicitation to solve. We use it to understand the problem. Then we now go on to analyze, what can we do? But that's where we extract. So as I'm extracting information from you, that's what we say I'm eliciting, I'm drawing out so that I can have information. Of course, when they catch criminals, what police want to do is to elicit, to gather information and all, look at documents, look at traces of, where were you this time? Where were you? So when they gather all those things, they analyze that, can you see this guy is there, this guy was there that time. You just come to a conclusion and all. That's what elicitation is about.
Okay, so as we wrap things up in a nutshell, what are those important things that people need to know about elicitation techniques? Just like a summary.
So I feel it's a learned skill. That's why we have CID. It's a learned skill. You need to improve in it. You need to have strong tool mastery, techniques mastery. And you also need to have strong interpersonal skill. And I feel also you should have a bit of, should I say, professional detachment. But while you're eliciting, you're focusing on your objective, and you must be very organized so that you don't get into unnecessary GS that you don't need. You need to know how to ask the right questions, how to generate the right questions. And so it's a skill that you constantly, over time, You start as you get matured, working on it, you get better at eliciting.
Thank you so much,
welcome.
Ajibola Bamidele. Woo! That's all we can talk about for today. But thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you would come back again.
Yeah,
when
thank
next
you.
we invite you.
Thank you.
That's about it today here on the show. Hope you learned a thing or two about elicitation techniques right here on Certification Insights. Don't forget to interact with us. Leave a comment down below here in the comment section of our post. Till next time on the show, please stay fine, stay well, be kind to one another. It's not going to cost you anything. I remain yours truly, Bamidele Vivian Osagi. Take care.
Certification Edge, building cross-border capabilities.